Our holiday gift suggestion for today is a household fire extinguisher. This little guy right here costs $10, and it's a good idea to have one in the kitchen, workshop, and not a bad idea to have one in your car. This is the time for another one of these disclaimers. The first thing that you should do in the case of a fire is to get all of your family out of the house and contact the fire department. It'd be easy to become overcome by toxic fumes or cut off by a fire in your own home. So once again, don't bite off more than you can chew, because in this case it could cost you your life. A little background about fire and fire extinguishers. It only takes about 2 minutes for a room to become fully and completely engulfed in flames. Because of that, the first 2 minutes after a fire starts are extremely important regarding how a person responds to the situation. The 4 stages of fire are ignition, growth, fully developed, and decay. What causes a fire is a combination of 3 things happening at once, often referred to as the fire triangle. You need to have fuel, a fuel source, enough heat to make the fuel burn, and oxygen to maintain the fire. You can stop the fire through one of the 4 actions: cool the burning material, exclude the oxygen, remove the fuel, or break the chemical reaction. Typical fire extinguishers work because they cut off oxygen to the fire or break the chemical reaction. When you purchase a fire extinguisher, make sure you're buying the right fire extinguisher for the right area. Now this guy right here, this one says right on it that it will extinguish flammable liquids like grease, and that it is safe to use on fire caused due to electrical malfunctions. Right there. Fire extinguisher for use on fires involving flammable liquids, electrical equipment. That's important. I mean, because sometimes, you put a fire extinguisher on the wrong type of fire extinguisher on a flammable liquid like a grease fire, you're just going to spread it. So make sure you got the right fire extinguisher. If you caught fire at the initial stage of ignition, you can use a fire extinguisher to put it out. Fire extinguishers don't hold much extinguishing fluid in them, so you must make a count if you ever need to use one. The method we teach for properly using a fire extinguisher is remembered by the acronym PASS. P stands for pull the pin, A stands for aim low, S stands for squeeze, and the last S stands for sweep. Pull the pin, aim low, squeeze the trigger, and sweep from left to right. And remember, spray the base of the flames, not the fire or the top of the fire. I see some crazy videos, people trying to spray the fire with it, and it's the fuel that's burning. The flame's just kind of a result. There are tons of videos on this. I wanted to add a little bit more information about yesterday's suggestion. I had held this little guy up, and it suggested that Menards was selling these for $10. I had it in a box yesterday, but I just wanted to give a little bit more explanation about your fire extinguisher options, because then now we have this guy right here. This one's about $30, and the difference between this is what they would refer to as a 3-pound extinguisher. This is an 8-pound extinguisher. So, and they're not, the poundage isn't based on how much does it actually weigh. That's the amount of extinguishing fluid inside. So the 3-pound extinguisher, I'd have everyone guess how long you think it would take to expel all of the extinguishant out of here. Well, between 3 and 5 seconds for a little 3-pounder. And with our friend here, the 8-pound, this would actually empty out in 10 seconds or less. So yesterday when we were talking about how critically important it is to make the most out of your fire extinguisher time if you have to use it, that's why, because they don't last long. So it's just important for everyone to know that. Now these are both filled with a dry chemical. That is why they're both okay. In this case, these can be used on electrical fire hazards. It can be used on a grease fire or a liquid fire where you don't have to worry about spreading it out, because it's a dry chemical that smothers the fire, and stops the chemical reaction. But I guess yesterday when I had mentioned this guy for $10, this probably is more suitable for a car. I mean, it doesn't give you much time, and most extinguishers don't. I probably would opt for, if you're going to have a household one, it is a little bigger, but having this guy right here, $30, probably a good idea to have one underneath the cabinet in the kitchen, one in your garage, and one down in the basement near where your furnace is. But just a suggestion, and just wanted to give you as much information as possible. You know how that goes. Knowledge is power.